Hi everyone, Josh May from Tacony Home Floor Care. Excited to present this series of videos called the Zoom Series, which is going to talk about our CleanMax vacuum cleaners and particularly the Zoom, the lightweight series right now. So we'll just jump right into it, start talking about the models that we have and the differences between them. So as you can see, we have 4 models. We have the Zoom 200, the Zoom 500, the Zoom 700, and the Zoom 800. What's the difference? The Zoom 200 is our entry-level machine. It's going to come standard with a rubber black bumper instead of, as you can see on these machines, they have the white non-marring bumpers on them, as well as this machine here has the older style cloth bag, and the paper bag inside of it is the standard bag that comes with it. There is an additional HEPA bag available if you would rather put HEPA bags on it, but as you can see, these use the cardboard style bags. This one's been in our lineup for a while, so we use these still. They fit on here. Also, this one comes with a 35-foot cord, standard cord as it is. There's no extension available that you'll see on these 2 models, so it's just a 35-foot cord. It lays fairly low, but not completely flat to the ground like the 700, the 500, and the 800 do. So you've got this nozzle that doesn't quite go all the way to the ground. Your on-off switch on this machine is not going to be in the handle. The on-off switch is right here. So to turn it on, we're going to power it on right there. The handle itself is a rubber grip handle, so you're going to hold it a little bit more than you would if you had a relaxed ergonomic handle like these have. So it's the entry-level machine, so it's not as nice as these, but it's a great selling product in our lineup. It does have, and I think this is important, and this is the case on all of these machines, is it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rubber foam wheels on the bottom. Those are good because that's important because they don't scuff the floors when you transition from a carpet to a hard floor, or from one surface to the next, or going over transition pieces. Your contact points are those rubber foam wheels. In addition to that, you'll notice here underneath, we've got the wooden roller as we do on the M500. But when you get to the 700 and the 800, you're going to get our metal brush roll. We'll talk about those advantages in a minute, but you'll have wooden rollers on these 2 machines and then metal on the 700 and the 800. And there's advantages to those from a versatility standpoint. If you wanted to change these to a softer bristle, you can actually put in softer bristles. Or if you're vacuuming a lot and using them a lot, as opposed to have to buy a whole wooden roller to replace, you can buy just the strips and put them in, which from a cost of ownership and usage standpoint for commercial type application, the long-term costs are less with these metal brush rolls. Plus it's more durable. We have a little bit better bearing protection on the metal brush roll, so I like that roller a lot more, and that's an advantage you have as you go up. Okay, so stepping back over here, the Zoom 200 has its features on it that we've talked about. All right, now let's talk about the Zoom 500. Now this has some really nice features. We mentioned a couple of them, but I'll just go over them again. You have your handle release right here, as opposed to having to step on the nozzle like we did here. However, if you're used to doing it that way, if you've had one of our older series, you can still do it that way. So either way is fine, but a lot of people like having this to use as a handle release. Also, while I've got it turned around here, you'll notice we now have a carrying handle. These 2 models will have that also, but this carrying handle gives us some versatility. If we're going in and out of the car, if we're going up and down stairs, it makes it easier to deal with and transport around. Also, we'll now move into the ergonomic handle with the rubber grip here. If you look right here, there's a great place for your finger to rest. So if you're vacuuming for long periods of time, it's less strain on your wrist and on your hand and on your fingers. So it's a lot better that way. Also, our switch is in the handle. So you got 2 speeds. You have a low and a high speed. Obviously the low would be a benefit if we're doing area rugs or certain types of carpet that it's hard to push through, as well as bare floors. And then you go to a high speed, which is going to give you that better performance on your carpet. The other thing that as I talked about bare floor cleaning that we start to see now in the lineup is you'll have a squeegee right here. That's not for water. That's for vacuuming your carpet and your hard floors, and you don't want it to kick stuff underneath. Now it's going to start to catch that. So this machine is going to do a lot better on a hard floor than the 200 because it doesn't have that feature. Again, we still have the 6 wheels, still have the wooden roller. Notice we still don't have a headlight, and we won't till we get to the Zoom 800, One really big differentiator that I like to talk about when I'm talking about the difference between the 200 and the 500, we talked about a lot of the little things, but to me the motor is a big one. So a few years back we made a change. We went from a fan that had 7 blades on it to one that had 5. These are taller and more concave. They actually decreased the clogging and increased the cleaning performance. So as we jump into these machines, the 500, the 700, and the 800 all have that 5-bladed fan, which is a better performing fan for us. They're also more durable, so we don't have as much fan breakage, so that's a good thing also. So as we go from the 2 to the 5, that's a big thing to talk about, knowing that motor is a better, more improved fan and motor. Okay, so we've talked about the differences between the 200 and the 500. Now we're gonna get to the 7, which I love this machine. It's kind of one of my favorites because it does get us that metal roller that we've talked about, as well as the lifetime belt. And the lifetime belt, this little symbol right here, will go red when we jam it. So if you've done our demonstrations before, and we'll show you how to do that, we suck up at the edge of a rug or a shoelace and it'll shut off. So one thing that I failed to mention on the 500 cord that is also on the 700 cord is these have a 6.5-inch cord that comes out here, which is replaceable. And that's a big deal because sometimes you chop up a cord and you need to change it and not have to take it to the shop to get replaced. So you can actually just change your cord out right there on the spot. It's a big selling feature for the 500 and the 700 cord. Even though they're only 30 feet, you can add extensions and you can quick replace them, which is valuable when it comes to time in a commercial setting. Before we get into the cordless, I do want to talk a little bit more about the cords that are on these machines and some of the differences that I may have skipped. The Zoom 200 has the cord hooks, but no quick cord releases on them, so you have to manually unwrap the cord. When you get to this 500 and the 700, they're gonna have the quick release, which is gonna allow us to take this off a lot quicker. And if you want to, we kind of talked about this, but you can change these cords out really easy if you should happen to fail on a cord, because this is our 6.5-inch pigtail that comes standard, and then you can quick change cords really easy. So again, this is a nice feature. They're 30-foot cords. You can buy just the cords and have them on hand. You can add an extension onto them, and they're quick and easy to replace, which you can't do on the Zoom 200. Now the Zoom 800, no cord length, right? This is a cordless machine, so you don't have to worry about that. This has our battery, which is right here. This is a 44-volt lithium-ion battery. It has about an hour of runtime, 50 minutes of runtime, depending on the type of surface we're on, and it recharges in approximately 2 hours. So it sits right here. We do have a power light right here. If we push this button, it shows us the charge length of our battery. So the green bars here indicate that we have power and that we're charged up. It does have the carrying handle, but again, the big difference here is it is a cordless machine. It's only gonna have one speed because of that, but the performance is somewhere in the middle of the low and high setting on this machine. So you got great cleaning performance and you don't have any limitations to cord length. This has been a very, very popular machine in our lineup, highly recommended to have, and it has a 1-year commercial warranty just like the others. So this is the Zoom Series. We think it's a great product to have in your store. I don't know if I showed this yet, but I think this is important. These all have a HEPA bag on the 500, the 700, and the 800 that comes standard with the machine, and it's a much better docking system. So this is notice it's the green collar, and the box will show that on the packaging that it has a green collar. They just click and click. So if you pull it off, it seals closed. To put them in, you'll hear click, click, and you've changed your bag. So the HEPA bags are great. We highly recommend those for a filtration standpoint. They also don't rip or tear easy, so it's a lot better to use a HEPA bag from that standpoint. So again, this is our Zoom Series. Great products to have. A lot of cleaning companies love this lineup. We highly recommend them being in your store.